Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of the One-on-One Real Talk weekly session with the Not I But We Dream Team in the building. New Order National Human Rights Organization. I call them International Human Rights Organization because I foresee them being a remedy for people in need all across the globe. So we just embracing that and we asking the creator that, you know, they intervene in our affairs and move this organization from a national to international organization so
Mm.
justice can be brought around the globe. And we have one of them strong New Order warriors in the building. You know, no stranger over here. We are definitely glad to have the uh, national, what's it, education?
Yep.
Yes, national education representative here with us to bless us with her presence and her jewels and her wisdom and her motivation because she definitely motivated. So let's welcome Sister Kymberly Hartfield back to the platform. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you feeling?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. We made a little history today.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for the people who ain't in the know. They may not be watching the news. Let them know what's happening, what's going on, and how you feel about it.
What's happening? Yo, we got for the first time in history a black woman of color. I know she's multiracial or whatever, but on the vice presidential ticket, Kamala Harris, Senator Kamala Harris. So the party has found out who it is, who all it is. We're getting ready to unite around and and organize around and mobilize around so that we can get that man out the White House. So Biden and Harris, it is. I'm ready.
Hmm, that's interesting. That's interesting. So can you touch a little bit on this political process in regards to where the mind and the focus should be? And also, I want to ask, you know, as someone who deals with media like myself, an organization deals with a lot of media, should, you know, black media outlets be in the forefront of having these conversations? I know we saw Senator Biden on the Breakfast Club and Kamala Harris on the Breakfast Club. Should independent black media be at the forefront seeking to get these conversations? You know, some of the interests of our community be brought to the forefront of their attention to hear their responses.
Oh well, yeah. I think that it is no question since since the organic protest behind George Floyd and police brutality and the way that took off. Like I think that really, really, really set the tone from now on in terms of who it is y'all finna listen to. Everybody, black media, the media, everybody, everybody's. I mean, they talking about it now on the news. Everybody is getting ready to focus on the black agenda. All everybody, they ain't gonna have no choice. At this, they ain't gonna have no choice. So that's what's so exciting about it to me. Because in the past, I mean, of course, we've always known that as black people, since we've gotten the right to vote, it's always been choosing the lesser of the two races, white men. That's nothing new for us. We've always had to make that choice if we wanted to vote, because the alternative was to not vote at all, right? So, we were strategic about this thing, understanding that it wasn't just about winning the Democratic primary. Otherwise, it would have been, Bernie or Elizabeth Warren, or if it was just about winning the Democratic primary. We understood, and we had to get Joe Biden to understand that it was about beating Trump. And And we had to get Joe to understand what it was going to take for us to get behind him, because he was so far behind when the primaries first started out. He needed to be resuscitated. Remember, Black folks wasn't messing with him like that, and he had to work and earn that. He had to adjust his agenda. He had to do some stuff to earn it. And then, okay, we saw he was willing to do that, and so it's like now we see we can use you in terms of utilize you. I should say we can utilize you because you're willing to be mendable like that. And and you also the type of white man that the general public, when it comes for the general election, see, there's a reason why Trump impeached himself to kick Joe off the ticket. He knew that was going to be the hardest one to beat. So, now it's on. Now it's on. And I think that everybody, because even when it started during the Democratic primary, the debates that they went through with each other, the Black agenda was forefront then for the first time ever. So it was already shaping up to be our time for real this time. And so now this just solidifies it by having a Black woman as on the ticket. I mean, it ain't no getting around it. And I'm just super excited. This whole thing, I think we talked before about how the virus is an epidemic, as well as, racism and all that, and how it's just all coming to a head at the same time, this perfect storm of events that's forcing America and the world to look at, how they've been treating Black people on this planet. And it's biblical, it's scriptural to me. It's prophecy for me. I can see it. And so, the only thing that we have the responsibility of doing is staying alive, making it to the other side of this thing, so that we can see and reap the rewards, the fruit of our labor, Congressman John Lewis, he almost made it. He saw Obama. He almost made it to see Kamala Harris, and what the rest gonna happen after that. So it's our responsibility to survive this, both of these pandemics that's going on at the same time, with this virus and racism. And that is what New Order is, promoting. That's what we're just trying to do. Just everybody, let's just make it. Let's just survive so we can meet each other in Atlanta on the other side. No, I'm just playing. Meet each other on the other side. Have a party, yo. It's our time, baby. It is our time. Yes.
Okay.
I
see this enthusiasm. Okay, I see you excited. That's what's up. I love it. It's been a busy couple of weeks with New Order. I seen It's been a busy couple of weeks for you and the New Order family. The Dream Team been out, to and fro, making a lot of things happen. So can you give us some updates from some of the things that have been going on, some of the things you've been a part of, and what those experiences have been like for you?
Yes, we did have quite a few things going on, where we went to oh my gosh, I think it's Augusta. I always get the
Augusta.
Yeah. On behalf of a client, Sakori. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad with names, y'all, and I'm so sorry, but just I know everybody face and story to my heart, but the names I'm bad with. But to help draw attention to a client whose her son and nephew were juveniles and young adults, and they was treated as adults, and in the harsh sentencing with juveniles, that case highlighted that issue. She has actually joined New Order now as a result. But we were there in Augusta highlighting the issue of juvenile justice reform with the sentencing, where they do this transfer them, trying them as adults as young as 15 and 16, giving them that adult time. So that's what that case highlighted. And
It's
then
Osborne.
thank you, thank you so much. Yeah, so that was a very near and dear case to my heart because of it involves the youth. It involves our children, and that juvenile justice system is just as that's another reason why I'm so looking forward to getting to the other side of this 2020, so that we can start with getting these legislative reforms in place. Because with that juvenile justice and the sentencing reform across the board, but particularly with the children, man, I mean, that school to prison pipeline is so real. It's so devastatingly tragic, that's what keeps me excited about getting to the other side of this 2020, so that we can get some legislative reform in place, because to let our babies up out of there, period. So we're super excited to be working with her on that case. And then we had a couple of memorial vigils. Jamarion Robinson is one where it was a kind of like another no not warrant situation. So here we go, with that legislative reform issue, where they busted down this child was visiting somebody else, and they just busted down the door and riddled his body with 76 bullets. I mean, I can't hardly even get his story out because I get so flummoxed by like imagining that. You imagine your child visiting a friend over at a friend's house, and bam, bam, all of a sudden he was in the stairwell of the place. He wasn't even. So still trying to get justice for that case. And the other one, the little baby who was killed after the Rashard Brooks situation at Wendy's in Atlanta. The little girl, here I go with the names again, but we had a vigil for her because it's been a month since that happened. And although one person turned himself in, we know that the community, somebody knows a lot more, and so we've been trying to get the community, somebody gotta say something. We need to get some more help with making sure we get total justice for them as well, because we just want as strong of a case as possible, when it comes to getting justice for these people, especially our babies. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot to keep up with, and it seems like the closer we get to this doggone election, the busier we're getting. The busier we're getting.
And there was some stuff going on in Ohio as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, and then Gerald has been. Let me see. I think we had someone from Texas, I believe. I think our newest affiliate is in Texas. I mean, so yes, that's what I mean. It's like all of the issues, like, nationwide, and like you said earlier, internationally. But yes, it's all sort of bubbling up to the surface all over the country, all over the world. And so New Order is on top of it, as much as we can. But the issues are the same. The issues all revolve around criminal justice reform, and human rights, basic human rights. So the issues are pretty much the same.
Definitely. definitely. And we're fortunate enough that there exists such a fearless organization that is committed, unrelentingly to seeking justice. Oftentimes there's the parade show or the camera walkarounds and the photo ops, and on the other end, the severe and gross negligence on the part of seeking justice due to monetary gain. So capitalizing off of the suffering and loss of families, to sweep in,
Mhm.
get their money and leave, or get their publicity and leave, or
Right.
shake their fist in front of the camera and
Mhm.
exploit some other of our family who have departed from our physical sight, to mention their
Mhm.
names with no intention of doing anything for the family, you know, or even in
Yeah.
cases, like with Miss Osborne, um, because the children haven't departed physically, there's no support as well. I think that's very
It's not as sensational.
right, right, and you know there's no there's little to no work in prevention altogether. In regards to it not being a need for a visual, not a need for a protest. You see what I'm saying? So, in the prevention in regards to looking at our youth and being better examples and instituting situations in space where they can grow without being harmed.
Yeah,
Knowing
I
that
mean
there's a
that's another
target that's
element.
there. Go ahead.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's another element of New Order. Our youth department is tapped in that way, in terms of, like you was talking about, the behind the scenes stuff. We want, we our youth department is doing clothing drives and
Right.
tangible things that that people need, that they can put their hands on, that they can, you know, tangibly benefit from right then and there. And so, yeah, when it comes to the prevention, or just like I said, staying tuned in and tapped in on the ground level with the community, with everybody, because with New Order, all walks of life is represented within New Order in terms of whether it's professional, whether it's as a client first, and then becoming a part. I myself was homeless at one time, as a result of getting sick without health insurance, and ended up, so we have people from all walks of life that are our spiritual leaders. Um, we got our bases covered, and so because of that, and because everybody is doing something that they are personally connected with, it's easy for us to maintain a presence, to maintain our footprint in the community.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely glad to have the New Order Warriors. I call them New Order Nation because y'all was all in that video with Red Fidel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was like Rhythm Nation, so y'all was New Order Nation. For
Man, look, you just call us take ones. All we needed was one take. All we needed was
oh,
one
oh, oh, okay, all
take.
right.
I was just kidding. That was so fun. I'm so proud of Red. The song was um, right on point, right on time. Yeah, yeah, man. So this is definitely exciting times, and um, I just feel like I said, all we got to do is survive, so that wherever we are right now, we get ready to take it to about, you know, 5, 10 more levels, kick it up a whole notch, a whole few notches. It's yo, y'all can't see it. You can't see it, man. You can't see it. You can't see it,
You,
boy.
Hey, I'm looking across the landscape like everybody else. You know, I'm a soldier, so you know, I'm I'm doing my part, and everybody's doing
Yeah,
their part. You know,
yeah,
like
you definitely
Miss
are.
Battle.
You definitely.
I know Miss Battle is out there. You know, she's doing her thing. You know, in regards to voter registration and getting those statues taken down and stuff like that. Like that, I got some serious warriors in the water. They ain't playing no games. They ain't taking
Ain't
no
playing
for an
no
answer.
games. Ain't playing no games. Yes.
Right.
I mean, that's what I said. We got fingerprints. Our fingerprints is on all of the relevant issues that are affecting us today. Like you said, the statues. I'm super excited about the legislation part. Just positioning. Getting ourselves positioned. We were talking before the show started about hope, because what is the alternative if you don't have hope for what's getting ready to happen? What is the alternative? But it's not just blind faith or blind hope. It's not really hoping, for no reason or based off of no reason. Like I was telling you how with the 2016 election, man, the only thing that really gave me hope was the popular vote. The fact that in real life, um, the majority of Americans voted against him. And so I mean, all this other shenanigans that happened with the voter suppression and the Russian interference and all, that was real as well. But still, that it was too close. But like I said, the only thing that gave me hope was that popular vote. So it was like, okay, I can work with this. If the majority of Americans voted against him, I can work with this. If it hadn't been for that, it would have been a whole different story. We would have been talking about, hey, what Marcus Garvey say? It's time to go. It's time to go. But because of that popular vote, I held out hope, you know. And then everybody was like recognizing what kind of train wreck he was, and it was like, okay, everybody was talking about the midterms and talking about, oh, we're gonna go do this blue wave, and we're gonna. So I was like, okay, I'm hoping. But then when it happened, when the vote came for the midterm, that's exactly what happened. So results, that people are putting their votes where their mouth is. Um, and so that's what gives me hope. It happened with the 2019 special elections. All of Trump's people that he endorsed, was losing most of them. So I'm like, okay, you know. And all we had to do was get our presidential pick together, and now it's on and popping. I'm just so motivated because I'm motivated by the results so far, and the results of the future, not too distant future either, not too distant future. As we were saying before about Congressman John Lewis, he almost made it. He saw Obama make it to be president, and he almost made it to see the first black vice president. Um, and then all the reforms and changes, restoring that Voting Rights Act that he fought, bled, and died for. Um, he almost made it to see that. So we owe it to him and so many others. We gotta just make it. We gotta make it to the other side of this. And that's just what keeps me going. That's what keeps us all going in New Order. The policy reforms, the opportunities that we have right now. We as the matter of fact, we had a runoff election today in Georgia, and here in Cobb County, we trying to get a new sheriff, literally a new sheriff in town, and he's gonna be a black sheriff. And so depending on how that go, I hope he pulled it out tonight. But we have made connections with these local politicians. That's the key, the local politicians. So we have networked with them on all levels, DAs, judges, sheriffs, you know what I'm saying? So we trying to get ourselves positioned so that we can do this, parlay what we do in the streets onto legislation, local legislation. So we encourage everybody to get involved on that level.
Now, what about the educational landscape? You being head of the education department as we approach this upcoming school year. What is that? What does that situation look like where you are? And what about our focus? Like this the last big topic. I think one of the most important topics uh, that we have thus far. That's the aspect of prevention. And this is also an aspect of where, we just talked about the school to prison pipeline. So this is what fuels and feeds the machine. One thing that we can't miss about politics is that big business funds politics. And that's what determines policy in this country. So if we get our arms tied behind our back thinking, okay, it's just politics and big business has no influence, it has all the influence in the world. This is how the military moves and all of it. So we have to see that this whole family system is linked together. I don't just use system, because there are people, because people have addresses and telephone numbers and emails. A system has none of that.
Yeah.
These people have residences and all of that. You see what I'm saying? So when you make it plain like that, you can see who's at you. Versus this invisible system and this hidden hand. And
Right.
we
Yeah.
never operated like that. So big business funds and fuels politics. This is how this guy is able to maneuver in the way that he does because he understands the business world. And if they said stuff about his business stuff, there's nobody out there. But that's where the lobbyists come from. This is where
Mhm.
all of those other aspects that make all these things up together have an
Mhm.
influence. So we have to look at that. And education is a very big part, along with the healthcare system.
Right.
They're all cogs in the same wheel that keeps this machine going.
Right. Right. And what we're learning, I mean, what we're seeing right before our eyes as well. Yes, big business feeds into politics, but big business is paying attention to who now? The people. You've seen how many corporate changes, that people are pledging to do and actually doing based on this reckoning, this racial reckoning that the country is going through right now. It is unprecedented. I mean, I know that word gets taught, but it's never been like this before. Where and it could be just a moment for them. You know what I'm saying? So our job is going to be to continue to make it a movement. But never have I ever seen corporate America, big business, coalesce around the Black agenda like right now. Am I right? I mean, not like this. Look, NASCAR, NASCAR. Come on now. So it's a different day. It's a different day, and we have to make sure that although we are completely justified in our cynicism and our skepticism, we are completely justified in that. But we also have to recognize what moment we're in so that we can keep the pressure going. In terms of the education part of it with all of us, not just the youth, I was laughing because with this virus, with the school systems out there, I don't know why they playing games. Ain't nobody going to school on campus. Everybody better sit their behinds down somewhere at home, at least from my vantage point. Because according to the CDC guidelines, if you live in a community that has more than 3 to 5% positivity rate of COVID, then you don't need to be sending your babies to school. That's according to the CDC. And so when you look at that to me, with the exception of very few places, is like the whole country. Ain't nobody at 3 to 5% positivity rate. So that being the case, it's an opportunity now. in conjunction with all of the other things that are happening with the racial reckoning in the world, ain't no getting around it for these children. Can you imagine all this stuff happening in society around you, and then the children like don't know, aren't being told anything about it or taught anything about it, or no. So for what I've been sort of promoting is this idea of, yes, education. Let's teach civics though. I mean, like on a real life, and it can be how does this government work? Like how you was talking about understanding the role that big business plays and lobbyists, special interest groups, super PACs. How does it? So how does that work? Understanding how this government works is what I have been promoting, what I would recommend for all of the families out there that's going to have to, the kids are going to be distance learning. And it's going to be, my child, he started last week, and it's 4 days a week, about 4 hours a day. And so, the rest of that time, civics lesson on how this government works. If they're not already getting enhanced, whatever it is that they are going, whatever it is that they're learning in school, find a way to connect it back to how this government works. I mean, it could be history, it could be math, talking about popular vote, electoral college. It could be English, it could be anything that they're going over. You can find a way to, at least one way to connect it back to civics, to this present day, this present time that, we're all going to look back on the year 2020, y'all. 2020. Woo! It put it on us. It put it on us. But teaching the children, teaching ourselves even as parents and adults, how this government works, because if it's what you think it was, where it's just one vote, one count, and whoever gets the most votes win, and no, it's not like that at all. So it's an opportunity for us all to get reconnected with our civics lessons, and teach it to others, teach it to our children in a very tangible way, where they can turn on the news and see exactly what you're talking about. The debate season is coming up, all that needs to be a part of the curriculum.
I hope y'all hear this master plan. This is the Kymberly Hartfield is laying out right here. Okay, about this focus and the implementation process of the focus down to the future generations. Because you can have all the information, but if it doesn't translate and transmute to our youth, nobody's going to carry it forward. The young brother, what's his name? Samuel.
Which one?
Sam is it Samuel, the young man that's in New Order or over the youth organization, over the youth department?
Did I tell you don't ask me no names?
I believe it's Samuel. Yeah, I believe it's Samuel. I know it's a sister that's above him, but I know that he's in the youth department, and he is phenomenal. Sam, I just say Sam. He's a phenomenal young man that loves his people, which is a rare thing nowadays because our youth are not socialized to love themselves and to love, our people. They're not socialized in that sort of a fashion. It's a very mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physical ambiguous society. Nothing is absolute. And unless you're talking about the death and devastation of our people, that's very absolute. But everything else, if you think you're a cat, you can be a cat in your mind, okay? And I have to call you a cat in the society. You understand what I'm saying? But when these atrocities will fall out, people on every kind of level from these other families who are at war with us. Then again, there's no, yeah, there's nothing to be said about that. So to find a young man who has the heart enough in this particular time to choose his people and to organize himself appropriately and taking the steps to study law, to study politics. You see what I'm saying? To be up on policy and come from a group of people, group of young men and women who orient themselves properly in that regard is phenomenal. So, definitely it can't stop with us. We can no longer continue to be a one and done generation. You know, too much has
Yeah.
gone into what is unfolding as you speak of
Yeah.
for us to be, negligent in our duties and ascertaining this knowledge and also in our ability to spread said knowledge to our people along with an implementation plan. It's no different than a curriculum, as you were speaking about. This needs to be our curriculum. We had enough of the other curriculums that are out here.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's a very focused type of time that we're living in, or season, according
Right.
to scripture. Time doesn't, have any relevance. We're dealing with season. This is that season that we're in
Mhm.
to actually implement these proper protocol and implementation procedures so that we can move forward, you know, in a renewed type of space.
Right. And what is it
We ain't
that
never seen it. We ain't never
right,
seen it, Sis Kim. So it's hard to kind of actualize. We didn't heard about it in our
right.
glorious past, but we haven't seen it in our sojourn. You know,
And that's what I was about to
so
say. What is always the one question that all throughout K through 12, pretty much K through 12, that is always asked in school? When am I ever going to use this? Remember that question? When am I ever going to need this? So, like I said, this is the time now to tie everything into real life. You can, this is real life. Every single thing that you're learning you're going to need. You need it now, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to show you how. You see this history lesson that they talking about? Well, it ain't so much in that far in the past. Just 10 years ago, such and such happened. Similar to that. You know what I'm saying? So you can always find a way to tie in what they're learning to what's going on with them now so that they can relate. Because when they don't relate to it, when am I going to need this? I don't have no use for this, then they tune it out. So right now is a prime opportune time to show your children, show the students that all of this stuff is related in real life. You're going to always need it. You're going to always use it.
right, all right, all right. So as we wrap this up, what are your final thoughts? You know, give them some celebration and some motivation as we close. Kick us in our hind parts and tell us let's get it in the gear. Give us a message that's strong right here.
Well, like I said, but we have every single right to be like, I've seen this movie before. I've heard this song before. I've seen this before, and here we are. Nothing has really come about it. We still kind of in the same place. We are justified in feeling that way, and we have a credible basis for that. But what my advice is to really take a step back and recognize the moment that we are in. I mean, for what it is. And I'm not talking about no pretty view of it either. I'm talking about look at it for what it is. Look at all the things that had to happen at the same time in order for us to be where we are now. Starting with the election of Donald Trump. I mean, if you want to just sort of, what started to kick this perfect storm into gear. So all of the things that had to happen at the same time in order for us to be at this point where we are now, where we have, the Black woman vice presidential candidate. And we have our Black agenda on the lips of everybody now because of it. Not just because of it. We just need to recognize the moment that we're in. And then once we recognize it, then we can capitalize on it. So recognize, capitalize, and then thrive. Hey, after the fact. Then we can thrive. I just made that up, boy. Recognize, capitalize, thrive. There we go. There we go. And New Order will be doing what we have always done, being on the forefront and the background at the same damn time. How about that? Now, Born, there you go. I'm glad you did that. I could come up with the website, but that phone number, you got that for me, bro? You got that phone number for me? Oh man, let me tell you, I gotta confess, when the vice presidential pick was named, all my little notes, everything, all that went out. I've been hooping and hollering and celebrating up until I got on the radio with you just now. So there you go. Thank you so much, y'all. That's our number. Thank you. I'm so bad with names. I've got to get better. Please forgive me. I know y'all faces and hearts. I love y'all.
So make sure y'all go to www.nonhro.org if you find yourself or one of your loved ones or someone in your social circle a victim of a human rights violation. We have an organization that works 24/7, 366 because we in 2020 that
Hey.
will help you, that is looking to seek justice. www.nonhro.org. New Order National Human Rights Organization.
Yes.
And you can call this phone number, and I believe John Drummond will be up at 3 o'clock in the morning for you. 1-800-346-5138. I believe the National Chief of Staff is the one answering the calls. So make sure you call him, okay? And give him a hello at 2 o'clock in the morning with your issue. He's there for you.
Do not
24/7,
tell him I sent you. Do not tell
366.
him I told you to call at 2 o'clock in the morning.
And
No,
say,
just
Miss
kidding.
Kim told me to call you. 1-800-346-5138. Miss Hartfield, thank you for coming on again and sharing this jewels and excitement and motivation with us. It's been magnificent. It's been wonderful. Don't be a stranger. Please come back with us as we get closer to glory. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll meet you over there on the other side. It's going to be Atlanta all over the country, but it's going to be a big old Atlanta. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Born. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Have a good day.